Welcome to Your City Connections, where you get to meet entertaining and informative guests. Guests such as an artist with a brush or with a camera, and a guest with a violin. City Connections, providing insightful interviews with favorite son Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb, to city commissioners, the mayor, interviews with a rodeo queen, to beauty queen, and even an NBA player. Now, join Steve Kime as he discusses another engaging topic on City Connections.
Hello, I'm Steve Kime, and welcome to City Connections. I appreciate you joining us each and every week as we provide an insightful guest and share with us what's going on in Enid and also around the state. Now, I like this guy. He's a man of his word. Last time I saw him, I invited him, or I just kind of said, listen, the next time you're in Enid, would you please come by the Enid Television Network studios? And he said he would. And so here he is, Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb.
Hey, Steve.
Man of your word, thanks. You said you was, and here you are. It's amazing how that happens.
That's how I was raised, in Enid.
Yeah.
Be a man of your word.
That's right. Yeah, that's so true. Well, it's good to have you back in Enid. I know you enjoy coming home from time to time.
I do. I love
it. When you come back, do you just have this flood of memories, or are you so busy because you're trying to get from point A to point B that you kind of forget about some special things that took place in Enid?
No. It's a flood of memories. And age is a relative term. Some folks look at me and say, well, Todd Lamb, he's at Enid High Plainsman, he's still over at Enid High.
Yeah.
My kids look at me and said, man, Dad's really old. So,
yeah.
I say that to say the older I get, I think I'm more nostalgic. So I come in Highway 81, I look over at the Enid High football stadium, D. Bruce Selby, and I think about all the memories there. I go down the downtown, think of the square, Christmas shopping there. I have a lot of memories when I come home.
Well, when we did the earlier recording, I believe it was back in June that we did this, it was amazing the people that come up to me, Todd, and they said, you know, he turned out a lot better than I thought he would. So
those are my teachers. I'm sure those are my former teachers.
Yeah, I thought I'd share that with you while we get going here. So one of your goals has always been to visit 77 counties. Thank goodness there's only 77 in Oklahoma. And I asked you back in the summer, you know, what are people saying? So as you continue to visit, what are some of the conversations you're having with people across Oklahoma?
Well, you're right. That's a commitment I have every county, every single year. And it's not just a drive through and get a limeade at the local Sonic and I say, okay, check the box, I went to that county. But I have substantive meetings everywhere I go. And the things I hear about as I travel around, Steve, to answer your question, they are as general as education policy, taxation policy, or something as local and parochial as infrastructure needs for a highway or a bridge or a local road, or something that's going on specifically to that community, whether it be specific water issue. So it's macro, it's micro, and I so enjoy doing that because I think I learn more traveling to the community than I learn remaining in my office just receiving an email or hosting a meeting.
Well, one of the questions I have for you is, after you've been listening forever and ever and you're getting the input from individuals across the state, my question is, well, what do you do with all that? Do you take it back to Oklahoma City and put it in this handy-dandy little file? Because people want to know that I just spent 20 minutes with the Lieutenant Governor and I shared my heart with this young man, and now what happens? So what could you tell us?
I'm really glad you asked that question because I'm sensitive to that. And many times as I travel around and I host town hall meetings and I talk to folks around the state in these county visits, I let them know what I do with the information I receive. If it's an immediate need and imminent, I address it when I get back to the Capitol or when I get on the phone immediately with that individual and make a phone call. I've done that a time or two. But at the end of the year, with the information I've received, because everywhere I go I ask two questions. What's our impediment to growth, and what's your advice to me on how we address that impediment or mitigate that so we can thrive and prosper as a county and as a state? I compile the Lieutenant Governor's policy and issues report. I've done it every year as Lieutenant Governor. And in that report, I have an item called Voices Across Oklahoma. And it's those men and women that I've met with.
It's not a CD, it's not the greatest hits.
No, it's not at all, not at all. And we always make it available online.
Yeah, okay.
And so I issue a report, and I give that report to the Speaker of the House. I give that report to the Pro Tem of the Oklahoma State Senate. I give that report to the governor and pertinent cabinet secretaries and or legislators that are either involved in that issue or need to be engaged in that particular item.
Well, very good. I know you are an ambassador for the state of Oklahoma as you travel around the country, around the globe. I know you're an ambassador. But I also know that one of your role is, as Lieutenant Governor, centers around job growth. And my question is, how can we support you in this job growth role?
Well, that's a good question, but a tough one for me to answer. And my knee-jerk response, my knee-jerk response is that Oklahomans are doing that. They are being helpful to me, and or we are all on one team as I travel around and I have these visits county by county, depending on whether it's the Rotary Club hosting me or the Chamber hosting me, Industrial Authority, the university, the Career Tech. I have a lot of different hosts as I travel around. But the voices of Oklahoma, I want to be that voice back at the state capitol. So when men and women that are very busy with their lives take time to meet with me when I'm in their specific county, it's very helpful to hear from them what their concerns are, what the challenges are they're dealing with day to day. And again, we have follow-up once we get back to the office, but it's a thank you I have to the men and women that offer advice to me so I can serve better.
We'll stay on the subject of job growth, and this focuses along on economic development. I think sometimes as residents of this great state, we wonder what can we do personally to help our state. And maybe the economic development picture, but just as a whole, people sit back and they hear you on television or they see a press conference and they said, I need to do more. As a citizen of Oklahoma, I need to do more. Is there anything that would promote economic development, but would just help promote our state that citizens can do?
Well, I think it depends on the calling you have on your life, the skill set that God has given you, the passion within you. Here's one example that's very local. Stan Brownlee. Mentor extraordinaire. Here's a man that's worked very hard, has been very successful. And he could just check it in and say, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy my life and sip coffee and take trips and travel the world. Here's what Stan does. He's gone to my former school, McKinley Grade School, been a mentor to grade schoolers for years. And then he went to, I think, another grade school. Now I believe he's at Longfellow Junior High, now middle school, junior high when I was living here. That's an example of an individual giving back and making our state better because he is committed to community and committed to other people.
Very good. I know he appreciates you recalling him and his impact on your life. Our special guest today on City Connections is the Lieutenant Governor, Todd Lamb, and we'll have more with, can I say Enid's favorite son? Or one of Enid's favorite sons? We'll have more with the Lieutenant Governor right after this. Hi, this is Steve Kime, and thanks for staying with us on City Connections. I appreciate the opportunity to come into your home or even sometime your businesses and talk about news and events and individuals that impact our great community. And I enjoy hearing from you because I can be standing in line at getting a sandwich and somebody come up to me and said, that City Connection that you had with that guy the other day, I really enjoyed that. So I appreciate the feedback. Our special guest is Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb. And Todd, as you know, the city of Enid we're in the middle of a evaluation or a study, if you will, with a consulting group, and they're looking at Call Lake to be another water, resource for us. Currently, with the population growth and industry growth in Enid and also Northwest Oklahoma, the water wells are working hard, but we need another source of water.
Right.
And so the question to you basically is, this water is going to impact Enid and surrounding areas. From a state perspective, from the capital's perspective, how do you see water from Call Lake helping the northwest part of Oklahoma?
Well, the first thing I'll say, it's important to have vision. In Proverbs it says, where there is no vision, the people will perish. The good news of growth in population, growth in economic development, sometimes presents not problems, but challenges that need to be addressed. With that growth, the challenge is water need. There's water need all across Oklahoma with the drought that we've experienced and might experience again in the near or distant future. So I attended the first meeting. Brent Kissling invited me to the water plan release, if you will. That became very public. And it's important to note that this was not just a water study, but a water plan. Correct. That's significant. Sometimes in government and in other entities, we study so much, it's paralysis by study, and nothing's ever done. So it's a plan. Now, to activate the plan, there'll be some requirements there. But thinking outside the box, thinking in the future, having a vision, not just for the next 20 days or the next year, but the next 20 years, the next 50 years. I think that's one of the things that this water plan for Northwest Oklahoma focuses on. And I think this coming session, well, I know this coming session that begins in February, there'll be much discussion at the state capitol about the Northwest Water Plan for Oklahoma. And
one important, we want to say, thank you or send some accolades to the leadership of Enid, the mayor, and also the city council of having that vision to say, let's don't tackle this next month. Let's do this today. So they do have that vision of looking forward. In April, you hosted this event. I think it's called the annual Small Business. Let me look at the Small Business Day at the Capitol. Tell us a little bit about that event that you hold at the Capitol in April, but also how can somebody be involved, small business?
As Lieutenant Governor, my title in the Governor's Cabinet, it was Lieutenant Governor, of course, but not just Lieutenant Governor. I'm officially the small business advocate for Oklahoma. Over 97% of all the employers in our state are small business employers. That's our backbone. That's our economic backbone. So I host the Small Business Day at the state capitol every spring. And if anybody has interest in attending and representing small business and or nominating a small business to receive recognition and to be awarded, they're welcome to call my office at 405-521-2161. And anybody in my office there can visit with them. It won't be till it's the spring of 2016. Plenty of time to plan, but we love to have anybody from Northwest Oklahoma, Garfield County, and the surrounding communities participate in this coming Small Business Day.
Well, I know it's a big part of your role as Lieutenant Governor, and I just wanted to find out more about it because I know someone that's watching is going to say, I'd like to participate in that Small Business Day. Tell us the phone number one more time.
405-521-2161. And the purpose of the day, we get together to focus on small business, but we also take that opportunity for these small business owners and operators to visit with legislators. Legislators come to the event at the state capitol, but then after lunch, we go out, we disperse, and talk to legislators about issues that are impacting small business.
You talked a little bit about how an individual, Mr. Brownlee, was a mentor and just an influence on your life. And I know that you have an opportunity to be a mentor and return that, pay it forward, if you will. And you participate annually in the last few years in this Be a Champ Camp.
Right.
Tell us about Be a Champ Camp. Well, you got to say that slow.
You do have to say it slowly. Be a Champ Camp is in Warner, Oklahoma, on the campus of Connors State. And it is a camp specifically for young students, high school, middle school students from all across the country, predominantly Oklahoma, but all across the country as well, that are involved in showing livestock. It is hosted and put on, coached by a legislator, former ag teacher, and his family. It's been going on for decades, and I go, and here's what I say, Steve. I tell these young people from all across the country in Oklahoma that are learning how to take care of their livestock and show livestock, I tell them thank you. And I say, here's the thank you. You clothe us and you feed us, and your family has clothed us and fed us for generations. So it's just a great opportunity to see their hard work in the summer. I mean, they're sweating bullets. They're working really hard in that show barn there at Connors State. They do a marvelous job, and it's just a great time to say thanks to them and their families.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your participation in Be a Champ Camp.
Be careful.
We'll have more with the Lieutenant Governor on City Connections and his closing thoughts and my closing comments right after this. Well, I've enjoyed my visit today, and I hope you have too, with Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb. It's always great when Todd comes to Enid to visit family, but also visits his ETN family, if you will. Speaking of family, I want to give you this opportunity. We will air this during November, December. And I want to give you this opportunity to speak to the folks. I use folks all the time. That's the Perry in me, I guess, when I say that. But Todd, I'd like for you to speak to everyone that's viewing this. And you have a Thanksgiving, Christmas greeting, New Year greeting, all wrapped into one. But go ahead and just share from your heart to the folks watching today.
Well, thank you, Steve, for the opportunity. It's the holiday season, more specifically Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm not just an Enid boy, but born and raised here in Enid. All of my early memories, all of my Thanksgiving and Christmas roots are in Enid. Whether I think of going over to East Maine, to my grandparents' house where there was an old Sinclair gas station right across the corner and Clark Canvas Company in the backyard, and seeing my grandfather dressed up as Santa Claus and hosting Thanksgiving weeks before at our house at 1302 West Garriott. All my memories are here. So Enid helped raise me. I'm thankful to my mom and dad. I'm thankful that God brought them to Enid. I'm thankful that I'm an Enid boy. I'm thankful that my memories and my roots are Garfield County and Enid. Christmas, I think of so many memories I have of the Emmanuel Baptist Church Christmas pageant. Anna Sue Luckenbill and Mona Lowen and so many others, Dan Heath and others putting on that pageant for decades, participating and acting a time or two in that pageant. But I could reminisce longer than this program will allow. So this holiday season, Todd Lamb, not as Lieutenant Governor, but Todd Lamb, a Waller Eagle, McKinley Cardinal, part of Emmanuel Christian School Warrior, and Enid High Plainsman. I say thank you to my hometown of Enid for the impact you've had on my life. Merry Christmas, and have a great, happy New Year.
Well said. Very good.
Well, thank you.
And you just came up with that.
I did.
Because, ladies and gentlemen, I put him on the spot and said, listen, I'll give you just a moment if you want to talk to the folks. So well done, Todd.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And that's our Lieutenant Governor from the great state of Oklahoma, Todd Lamb, being with us on City Connections. And, well, we'll see you in 6 months, right?
If I'm invited back,
if
I'll show up.
Okay, very good. And we hope that you come back and watch another show on City Connections. Until the next time, I'm Steve Kime. Until then, make it a great day.